Area news this morning, and Chrissy K. Davis of Talladega was killed Monday while working for the Department of Defense in Afghanistan. She was 54 years old. Davis was deployed to DLA disposition services as part of a civilian workforce. She was killed during an indirect attack on an air base in Afghanistan. She was a 22-year DLA employee, worked as a property disposal specialist, and was serving her second deployment as a civilian workforce volunteer. Davis was supporting the Army's current mission in Afghanistan, Operation Freedom Sentinel. Now, for more than a decade, Enduring Freedom was a code name for the war in Afghanistan. Although the war officially is over, deaths continue. At the height of the war, more than 100,000 American troops were in Afghanistan, but President Obama and the administration had planned to draw the number down to 5,500 at the end of this year, with a plan to exit completely by the end of 2016. According to the Pentagon's count, 2,215 troops died in Afghanistan between October 2001 and December 2014, with more than 100 killed in support of Enduring Freedom in other countries. Now, Davis' body is scheduled to arrive at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware today for positive identification before the body is released to the family. The identification process is a part of standard U.S. military procedure. Again, Chrissy K. Davis, age 54, of Talladega, a civilian worker coming out of the Afghanistan Army Depot. She lived in Talladega, and she was killed on Monday by indirect fire. That's a phrase that the military typically uses to describe an artillery attack. She was at an Air Force base in Afghanistan, according to the Department of Defense. In Sylacauga, 2 Sylacauga residents were arrested earlier this week for manufacture of a controlled substance and other drug charges, according to records at the Talladega County Metro Jail. Daniel Sean Hay, age 21, and Tyra Jordan Faulkner, age 18, were both given $10,000 bonds by District Court Judge Jeff Bannon. That, according to Talladega County Drug and Violent Crime Task Force Commander Jason Murray. Murray said Talladega County Sheriff's deputies responded to a domestic violence call on Center Hill Road, where Hay and Faulkner both appeared to have been living. The deputy was unable to get anyone to the front door, so he went around the back of the house, where he found an open door. There was, quote, a shake and bake style methamphetamine cook going on inside the house in plain sight, Murray said. Both Hayes and Faulkner were charged with unlawful manufacture of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, and felony possession of drug paraphernalia. Murray said the case remains under investigation, and at least one other arrest may be forthcoming. Now, manufacture of a controlled substance in the first degree is a Class A felony in Alabama, punishable upon conviction by 10 to 99 years or life in prison. Possession of a controlled substance and felony paraphernalia are both Class C felonies, punishable upon conviction by 1 year and 1 day to 10 years in prison. Staying in South Talladega County, the Oak Grove Town Council, during its regular meeting yesterday, unanimously approved paying $520 to repair one of the town's buses. Sylacauga Handicap will handle the work. The bus is in need of a repaired hydraulic cylinder. The issue was noticed late last week, but the bus is still in use, transporting a resident to the Oak Grove Senior Center. Councilman David Harris, serving as Mayor Pro Tem for Tony White, who was on vacation, said he was unsure when the repairs would be made. It will likely take 1 or 2 days once the town delivers the bus to Sylacauga Handicap. Harris stressed, however, that the bus is still safe to drive. The repair will merely help avert future fluid leaks. In other business, the Town Council of Oak Grove unanimously approved changes in policy in regards to renting out the senior center and pavilion. Now, the first change dictates that all deposits will need to be made in cash. This measure is to ensure that for whatever reason the town can deduct from the deposit if need be, which might not be the case if the renter decides to cancel a check. Another change stipulated that the money to rent the center must be paid up front. This is opposed to a prior time frame which allowed renters to pay up to 30 days after they initially rented the space. The policy, according to Harris, will minimize the number of times someone cannot rent the senior center when someone has already reserved it but decides to back out later. Now, the policy still allows for reimbursement if someone needs to back out of his or her reservation up to 2 weeks before the date of their event. The final policy change will also call for specific instructions on where people will need to dispose of their trash after the events are over. Now, the council also announced that the town's fire department received an appreciative plaque from the involvement in the B.B. Comer Memorial High School anti-drinking public service announcement in May. Talladega firefighters have been busy. They responded to 2 structure fires within 12 hours of each other on Monday, that according to Chief Danny Warwick. First alarm went out about 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Heavy smoke and fire was pouring out of the side of a house when firefighters arrived. The fire was brought under control and put out with burn damage limited to 2 rooms. The home was occupied, but the occupant was apparently not there when the fire broke out. The fire appears to be electrical, but Warwick said the investigation is still ongoing. Second fire about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, that at a residence as well in Talladega. The fire damage was limited to a single bedroom inside the home, but there was heavy smoke and water damage throughout. In this case, an occupant was at home but was able to get out of the house safely. He was later transported to the emergency room at Citizens BMC by North Star paramedics to be treated for possible smoke inhalation. The cause of that fire is under investigation, but again, the preliminary findings were probably electrical. An incident report was also filed by Talladega Police regarding one of the fires on Coffee Street. Thomas said the resident told police that he had been having electrical problems for some time and had informed the landlord of the issues. That is a look at local news.